Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Live in the Salon with Benita and Rita. I am Rita, and I am here today with a really special friend of mine. His name is Levar Stoney, and he is the former mayor of Richmond, Virginia. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you again.
It's good seeing you too. I have an introduction, so
Oh,
we're gonna wait to talk
okay.
until I read my introduction. So, tonight is not just a conversation about leadership, titles, or accomplishments. It is a moment to pause and to listen more deeply. Because behind every title, there is a man. Behind every decision, there is a story. And behind every life of service, there is something far more personal, far more sacred. And so we in the city of Richmond have watched his leadership, we've heard his policies, we've seen the outcomes. But tonight, we're going to listen for something different. Tonight, we're going to listen to his heart. Who he is beyond the role, what shaped him beyond the spotlight, and what remains now that the titles are quieter. So I invite each of you to listen not just with your ears, but with your awareness. Because what you hear tonight may not just tell you about him, it may reveal something about you. You ready?
I'm ready.
So I know you asked me for these questions, and I said I want us to be
I
spontaneous,
love it.
okay?
I love it.
But we did have an interview before. This has
That's
been,
right.
I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, easily.
I think before that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
probably was.
Yeah.
And
Before the pandemic.
oh yeah, oh
Hmm.
yeah. So I'm excited for you to be here again because there's been a lot that's happened since I saw you. And the reason that I thought about you was because I know that when we spoke before, you spoke from the heart.
Hmm.
So we're just gonna get kind of figure out where you are now in your life
I love
because you got a whole lot of new people in your life.
it.
So here's the first question: when you look back at the young man who became mayor at 35, 10 years ago, right?
Can't believe that.
What do you now understand about him that he didn't yet understand about himself?
Ooh. You know what? That young man, I'm proud of that young man because number one, he already knew it was not easy running for public office because he can't because I came from working on
Hmm.
political campaigns and advising candidates. But he did it anyway, right? And he knew about the pitfalls. He knew about um, the cost, um, but also the benefits that may come from
Hmm.
serving in public office, the motivations behind it. But he did it anyway, and I'm proud that I did it anyway.
Why did you do it?
I did it because I'm one of those individuals who, when I see something that I think is wrong that can be fixed, I don't believe in sitting on the sidelines and complaining and whining. And I believe in actually jumping in the arena and doing something about it.
Yeah.
And I'm proud that that's what I did. I'm proud that I saw a wrong and tried to right it. And I didn't depend on someone else to do it for me. I just got out there and did it myself.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the entirety of the time I got to serve, 8 years, 2 years as Secretary of the Commonwealth, so a whole decade of my life in my 30s,
Yeah.
all devoted to public service. And so I would not go back and do anything differently. Um, have my regrets at times.
In that, like what?
You know what? When you find out that you try to please as many people as
Hmm.
you can, right? And you realize that there's no you're not gonna make 100% of the
Hmm.
people out there happy.
Hmm.
And when you start to trying to please this person, try to please this, there's so many different constituencies in politics, particularly when you're the mayor. You got residents, you got city council, you got then
The government.
you got the federal, you got the state government, the federal government, and then
Hmm.
everything gets subdivided into
Hmm.
you got black
Neighborhoods. Yeah.
neighborhoods, you got white neighborhoods, you got the wealthy, you got the
Hmm.
folks who are activists, you got all these different constituencies
Hmm.
that you have to answer to, and guess what? You will find out you will not make everyone happy. And I think sometimes when I look back at it, I tried probably early on to make too many people happy.
Hmm.
If the second term me if I could do it over again, I would want my I would want to be more like my second term versus my first term.
Yeah.
Because the first term, I'm young and probably naive.
Trying to be pleasing everybody.
Yeah.
Do you remember how we met? I'm going to tell you because it was so funny. We were at some event outside. I don't even know where it was, Levar.
You were outside.
We were outside. And it might have been at the Science Museum, but anyway, it was a beautiful day when we were outside. And I saw you with one of your folks that was working on your campaign. And whomever I was talking to, I said, I bet that's Levar Stoney, because you were dressed like a millennial with the shorter jacket. I mean, you look like a millennial. I was like, maybe not a millennial, maybe Gen X.
No, millennial.
Oh, okay.
My suits were a little tighter back then.
Yeah, they were.
That was the trend at the time.
And the pants were a little bit shorter.
Yeah,
I said, I know that's him. That's him.
Yep.
So when you came up to say hello, because you were speaking to everybody, when you came up to say hello, I said to you, I know several people in this city who don't want you to be mayor.
Yes, I remember this.
And I said, so I want you to tell me why you want to be mayor. And you took me aside and we talked about it.
Yep.
And it was great.
Yep.
It was great.
And I remember when you asked that question, I was like, oh, here we go. Because you know what? Though I know there were some people out there who, number one, thought I shouldn't be mayor. I couldn't become the mayor. I wouldn't become the mayor. And I look back at that whole entire experience like, I worked that like a dog.
You
boy.
did.
I worked that one. I mean, I was knocking on people's doors.
You did.
I was showing up at the grill outs and cookouts and barbecues.
And remember the other thing I told you that I loved was that commercial you had where you were running through the
Yes.
city.
Yes.
That was so amazing.
They almost won an award for that.
That was such a
for that
good commercial.
It showed, I think what the city needed at that time
Right.
was an
Was to
injection
just move.
of energy. Yes,
Yeah, just to
yes.
move.
So it showed that this is a young guy. He's out
Yeah.
there moving. When I became,
And I mean, you were running.
I was running.
Yeah.
I was running those stairs. Yeah, I can't do that like I used to. But these knees, they've caught up. Time has caught up with a brother. One thing that I remember, I sat down with the mayor of Atlanta at the time after I became mayor, and I was devoted to sitting down with as many mayors as I could, sort of like get some knowledge and see who was going to take me under their wing. I met with the mayor of Atlanta at the time. His name was Kasim Reed. And Mayor Reed sat down with me in the lobby at a hotel. It was a conference for mayors. And I just wanted to pick his brain on like, man, you're so cool to me, but you're the mayor in Atlanta, Georgia. And you live in a town where you had people come before you who were big deals. Andrew Young was the mayor there. And what he told me was the fact that the city elected you at 35, when people elect a mayor, they're trying to say something. He said, I want you to remember that. When they elect a mayor, they're trying to make a statement. This is who we are. Because at the end of the day, they had 3 real choices in that election,
right.
and they chose me. And I thought, the choice by choosing me, they represent. I thought I represented the future, where the city wanted to go. The city wanted more visionary, bigger ideas, but also recognize that my generation, the millennials, who were moving into the city,
That's right.
played a new role.
By leaps and bounds.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, I love it. I'm gonna move on because we're gonna get these questions.
Okay,
answered.
all right.
Okay, you carried the hopes of an entire city at a young age. Where did you go internally when the weight felt too heavy?
Well,
Even Pete said.
when the weight fell to it, let me tell you about heavy moments though.
Okay.
When the police chief is calling you weekly, sometimes nightly, about a shooting or a homicide in the city, those were heavy times. 2020, particularly when the pandemic hit in that March, and then the protest started that late May throughout to basically to August. I was running for re-election.
Yeah.
Those were heavy times.
Yeah.
And remember, I was young, single at the time. I was divorced. And so I'm living in that apartment in downtown Richmond by myself. And I came home to all that at night. And sometimes I was able to call my brother and lean on him just to, pick me up a little bit. Or sometimes what I would do is, so just in order not to stress out so much, find friends and just, find a way to hang out to clear clear my mind sometimes.
Right.
During particularly the pandemic, Did not sleep as much as I should have. Did not eat as well. And that's when I realized that I can't do this all by myself. Can't do this all by myself. And so 2020 was hard. There's probably still some trauma that I'm dealing with because of 2020. You know, just when people are marching on your home and people calling you in every an hour, the wee hours in the night, trying to intimidate you, or whether it's people on the left or people on the right. You still
do you have faith?
Yes.
And is that
I did some praying.
Yeah.
During that, this is the thing. I do have faith. I'm not as religious as my grandmother.
Well,
right?
I don't even know if they make them like that.
But I do know how to pray. I do know how to pray.
Yeah.
I do know who my Lord is. And what I prayed for was the strength just to get through, right? During the difficult times, to make these decisions and not make them with any regret, make them with knowing that, there's going to be a tomorrow.
Yeah. That's good.
A better tomorrow.
That's good. That's good. Okay. You've lived a life of service. Was there ever a moment where you had to choose between serving others and honoring yourself?
Well, you know what? I've always been the type of leader that put others before me. I love recognizing the people who were able to work with me, because this is not a one man or a one woman show. When you get into public service and leadership, there are other people that you may never know their name. They go anonymous. They are the reason why I was able to achieve so much during my tenure. When the 2020 happened, I remember my brother asking me something. And my brother's my little brother, by the way. I'm 2.5 years older than him, but we are very tight.
Good.
And my brother said to me, because he saw the comments on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everybody has something to say, right? After we took down the monuments, after all the protests were going on, he was like, "Why are you doing this? You don't need this." And I was like, I made a commitment to these people, and I'm not going to quit in the middle of it. I'm just not. People were calling for my resignation and all that. And he was like, "You don't need this. They don't know what they have in you." And I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep my commitment. And that's what I believed in. And if it wasn't for, my brother and others who were like, just keep your head up.
Yeah.
Keep your head up.
Always.
Always.
Always. Always. We got 1 minute. So here's my last question before we move on. You helped restore voting rights to over 150,000 people. Beyond policy, what did that mean to you spiritually to participate in restoring somebody else's voice?
That's about,
you got about 30 seconds.
That's about redemption
and
forgiveness, right? And that's a key tenet, I believe, of one's Christian faith, is about redemption, that you can redeem yourself, right? That you're better and stronger than the mistake that one makes. And so I injected a little bit of that into that work. Those are the values I led with. My father was a former offender, someone who made a mistake, and I want people to see him as someone who can be redeemed.
That's good. That's good. We're going to take a break, everybody. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. This is the former Mayor of Richmond, Levar Stoney, and me, Rita. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Live in the Salon with Benita and Rita. I am Rita, and I've got my former mayor here with me, Levar Stoney, and we're going to keep asking these questions. And listen, folks, this is going to be, you're going to hear it on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, but also I'm going to have it on YouTube. So if you've got questions, always send them to me, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let's talk about, you were raised by your father and grandmother. And you were the first to earn a high school diploma.
Yes.
That's a lot. What did their love plant in you that no title ever could? And was your grandmom your dad's mom?
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
From an early age, I always felt like I was chosen by them. What I mean by chosen, almost like, oh, he's gonna be the one, right? So we're gonna invest our time and our love, and we can give him things, give him tasks, give him something that we know he can handle. Because the things I was doing at a young age, I don't see young people doing that anymore. I mean, at 6, 7 years old, I was filling out I was doing all the bills for my grandmother. I was writing the checks out, putting it in an envelope, and sending it off.
Yeah.
I was keeping track of of her finances.
They were showing you how to be an adult.
Yes. So I guess some people say, well, you had to grow up faster than others had to grow up. I guess I just thought they were like, you know what? His shoulders are broad enough and strong enough that he can handle this. And so when I started to grow up and I went to college, and people were like, you seem more mature than, we've seen come through here before. And I was like, I'm just doing what I know.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's traveled with me throughout my life, is that I've done a lot of the work that I've done at an early age before folks, because I think my parents told me that I could do anything I put my mind to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I ate that up wholesale.
Okay.
Some people, they hear that and are like, oh, well, everybody's parents do that. But they're like, you know what? You could do anything. You can walk into any of these rooms. And, the fact that I grew up in a community where many African Americans, many black folk.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Yorktown, Virginia.
Okay.
Specifically an area called Tab, Virginia. And, went to Tab High School all throughout elementary, middle school. There are African Americans there, but there aren't very many.
Yeah.
And so you're walking in rooms, and my father made me clearly understand that they are going to doubt you every time you walk into these rooms. Just because. Yeah. They don't know who you are. Yeah. They don't know anything about. They don't know your name.
Yeah.
But once you walk,
they've already made a decision.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
He said, so don't go in there with a chip on your shoulder. Go in there ready to compete, and that's what I did. I competed in the classroom. I competed on the playing fields, on the basketball court, track, whatever it may be. Competition's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it made me a better person.
That's good. So you said your dad was incarcerated.
Yes.
For a long time, or just?
Not a long time. I think
But you were with your grandma then.
Yes. I remember when my father got in trouble. He was locked up for a couple of weeks or whatnot. He was able to get out, but I think the deal, I guess, that was made with him likely was that either you can get out, but you're gonna get a felony. And he had that felony on his record, which New York treats those felonies differently than what Virginia would treat those felonies. But still, it stuck with him through those many years. And so I remember him fearing, do I check the box? Do I not check the box?
I know. I understand that.
Right? Is this the difference between me putting food on the table and also him talking, when he got really down, he would say, if I don't get a job in the next week or two or next month, I'm going to have to go back and do things I don't want to do.
Right.
And I was like, what you mean by that? I knew what he meant.
Right.
But he was like, if I have to sell drugs, I might have to go do that. And here's the thing, that is the challenge that a lot of brothers, a lot of people, period, face. Yeah. That do I do this? Do I go this route, or do I go?
I got to strike against me, like you say. Do I check the box? I know that conversation.
That's why it was very important for me to bring good jobs to Richmond, so brothers wouldn't have to make that choice between doing something that could put them behind bars for years and years, or could I give them a good paying job that can pay the bills and they don't feel like they have to, go do something that a lot of times they don't want to do.
Right. Right. You did a lot with housing. Yeah.
I believe in housing is foundational. It is it could be it's a vaccine for poverty. I think, and a lot of what we get to do in life is based on where we get to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Right? If you tell me where a person lives, I can tell you what the likely projection of that person will be. And so I did a lot on housing because, number one, it's difficult to. Can I just tell you a quick story? I remember being at where was I? Woodville Elementary School. I was doing an interview, just a quick stand-up. And a brother was with his kid, and he walked out. And they were asking the questions, he stopped me and he said, "Mayor, can I give you a piece of advice?" I said, "I'm always open, brother." He was like, "You want to make a difference in this city? Tear them down." And if you ever been to Woodville, you look right across, you can see Creighton Court. He said, "You want to make a difference in this community? Tear all that down." And I was like, wow. And I know there's some folks out there who want to protect and save public housing, but I tell you this: the folks who live in public housing, they want an opportunity to make their own choices on where they can live. Yeah. The issue at times is when that is all you know, and it's the easiest. I can't get anywhere else, and you're like, I want to least I got a place over a
Right.
roof over my head.
Right.
So we need to build more homes that are accessible for people of all income levels.
Right.
And I'm proud that over 6,000 homes were
they
preserved
should
or
tore it
constructed.
down. They should tore it down.
Oh yeah. So we got to build more
Yeah.
units so we can have an alternative
Yeah.
to public
Yeah.
housing. It's
Yeah.
it's been
because
passed.
when you live in nice, you do nice.
That's exactly.
You know.
And it's
And those places were horrendous.
and it's about your network as well.
Yeah.
If you hang around the same folks doing the same thing they were doing 10 years
That's
ago.
right. That's right. You're not going
Right.
anywhere.
And so I remember my friend Reggie Gordon, who
Yeah.
you know Reggie
Yeah.
Gordon, and Reggie was like, Mayor, it's about your network, right? And they don't, and sometimes people don't believe that the people you live around helps raise you up as
Sure,
well.
sure.
And so I remember telling somebody in Creating Court, I said, we're going to give you new housing, and there's going one day there's going to be a person who wants to be a doctor at VCU living right next door to you. And she was like, I don't believe that. I don't. And that's not going to happen. I said, guess what?
Yeah.
If you look at Armstrong Renaissance, that's exactly what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
People who have jobs, big jobs downtown, living against folks who make a wage.
And back in the day, because I was born in Jackson, Mississippi, and my granddad was a bricklayer, and directly across the street was Dr. Holly, who was an instructor. Was an instructor over at Jackson State, and next to him was the superintendent of Jackson Schools. This was an all-black neighborhood, but everybody lived
That's
together, and it was good. It was good. Down the street was a nurse. It was good.
And there are, we need more communities like that.
Yeah, we do.
We need more communities like that. And also, I always made because you want your kids in that community to be able to see the superintendent lives across the street. The principal lives down the street. My dad might be a janitor, but look at all these other examples I have as well.
Yeah.
Those are the type of communities we want.
Even though your dad was a janitor, he was proud.
Oh,
Because
very
there
much
was
so.
nobody prouder than my granddaddy.
Oh, very much.
A master bricklayer.
Oh, very much so. I remember we would go work with him at the school. So this would be the trade-off. I was like, Dad, can we come and play at the basketball, in the basketball gym while you work? And so me and my brother would have the whole gym to ourselves, one-on-one. And he said, but what y'all owe me though is y'all gotta help me with these floors. And he was so proud of how shiny his floors were. He's like, look at these floors. You could,
He just loved it.
Yeah, you could, it's like a mirror. You could look at it. I was like, yeah, they good, Dad. Can we go home, please? They good.
I love it. So community.
Yes.
Community is important.
Community is very important.
Okay, when your daughter looks at your life one day, what's her name?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope she understands about what it means to lead?
I think, I want her to understand that, number one, we only raising leaders around here. Okay?
Get that straight.
That's right. My father was big on there's no followers in here. We only raising leaders around here. So because if you a follower, if your friend jumps off the cliff, you gonna jump right after him. I was like, dang. And he would always stress that. He say, your brother right here, he's a leader. That's where I want Sunday to recognize that we only do leadership around here. So what I wanted to know about, what was the question? I want to know about.
Well, look, I can read it. Leadership. Where's that little girl thing? What do you hope she understands about what it means to lead? What does it mean to lead?
Well, what I want her to understand that if you're looking for accolades, if you're looking for recognition, because guess what? That's not what leadership's about.
Yeah.
Leadership is about, to me, having a goal, task, or vision in mind and feeling good about it once you accomplish it and you led the way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're always going to get the recognition for it. Doesn't mean you're going to get an accolade for it. It just means that you're the one leading the way out of something that might not be great at times, or just leading your football team, leading your cheerleading squad or something like that. Yeah. Leadership can be a lonely place as well.
It is.
It can be a lonely place. It may look all glamorous on TV. Oh, I'm the captain of the team. I'm this and the other. But talk to these CEOs out there, or these governors, or these mayors, and you'll find out some people who feel alone at times. Right. This is a truth.
You know what? Here's my next question. Leadership often looks powerful from the outside, but what did it cost you personally that people may never see?
Well, first, I mean, it did cost me my privacy, right? When you're used to being able to be, when you're the mayor specifically, you cannot be anonymous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You give up your privacy. I mean, you essentially give up your life, right? If you, and let me say this: if you do it the right way, right? And I was willing to be selfless because I was like, you know what? I'm going to go all out because at the time it was just me. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have a family. It was just me. And I say, I'm going to devote my entire life to it. Once I met my wife, once I had my family, I realized that you're giving up a lot to do this work.
Yeah.
You give it, because guess what? Your time is valuable.
Yeah.
Who knew that? Right? Your time is valuable.
Yeah.
And when you're alone and single, you can give up. You can maximize your time. You can give up all your time. But when you have a family, that's a cost.
Yeah.
And you may not see that because all you see is the tweet.
Somebody's asking you to do this.
Right.
Somebody's asking
you may see the guy on TV, but you don't see, his home life or her home life.
Exactly.
They're giving up a lot.
Yeah.
They're giving up a lot. And here's the thing. People will get mad. Oh, I invited you to this event and you didn't show up. And I was like, well, I've been there 7 years in a row. Now I got a kid. And guess what? I'm going to be home hanging out with this baby versus being back at your event for the eighth year in a row. Give a brother some grace.
Yeah. I get it. Was there a moment in your leadership where you were forced to confront yourself, not as a leader, but as a man? Told you they were good.
Yeah. You know what? I'm a big believer in if you want something, you have to avail yourself to it. And after the pandemic, I realized that this is lonely and heavy is the head that wears the crown as well. And I realized, like, man, people had told me that, well, you probably shouldn't get married again because you're so busy doing this work in service. You don't have a lot of time for home. And I was like, no, you know what? After this loneliness I experienced during the pandemic and during the protests and the removal of the monuments, I want a real relationship.
Yeah.
And so you got to be vulnerable. You got to take down that wall that a lot of us walk around with and just be vulnerable. And that's what I did. And that's how I was able to land the most beautiful wife one man can ever have.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. I love it. We're going to take another break.
All right.
Guys, when we come back, I got a couple more questions for him, so please don't leave. We'll be right back. Hey there. We're back. This is Live in the Salon with Benita and Rita, and I am here with the former mayor of Richmond, Virginia, Levar Stoney. So I'm going to do some quick things, okay?
All right.
Is the work around housing families and children, in the work around housing families and children, what broke your heart the most, and how did you carry that?
The one that broke my heart the most, just a story that stands out, is we created a program to essentially have kids who had someone in their family who was involved in a gun violence, right? So a brother or someone, and we want these kids to go to an after-school program. We also pay them at this after-school program as well. So we pay them to show up. We're trying to keep them out of trouble and also give them, keep them on the straight and narrow. And I met this kid who was great and was going through the program, and then a few months later, he was shot by his brother. His brother stole a gun from a vehicle, and they were playing around with the gun, and the brother did not know there was one already. That was tough, because the toughest part is when you meet the people, right? You
get to know them.
You get to know them. You meet them, and you're like, man, I just met this person, and then boom, something like that. That always, to me, I would like to always ask the question when something tragic in the city happened, and a lot of times they had some sort of engagement with city, some sort of service. I like to see, so what happened? Where was the crack?
Yeah.
Right? Because literally, there are kids, there are families that fall through the cracks.
That's
and
right.
My job, I always felt like, was to fill the crack, right? Fill that gap. And I always would want to know, so what happened? So how did this person end up here? Where did they? Oh, they interacted here with the city. They interacted with the police department. They interacted here. They had not gone to school for the last month. These are all things that happen.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
You took a lot on.
It's.
You did.
I'm
Could you have done this? Could you have done this with a family?
I tell folks, like, I don't know how I could have done this with a family.
Yeah.
Right. So when I see these folks who, and I have nothing against 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds who want to run for the office of the mayor, I'm like, I had to do it at 35 because I had the energy to do it. You have to have the energy to do this. If you want to do it, I think the right way, you got to have the energy to do it, and also the capacity.
Right.
Because if you don't have that capacity, that mental capacity, and I'm not talking about your intelligence, I'm talking about taking on all the stress that comes with the job. You know.
Okay. You came close in the lieutenant governor's race.
No, too close.
Closer than that. How did that experience shape your understanding of purpose versus position?
Can I first just clearly and honestly say that sucked?
Yeah. It sucked. I know it did.
It did not feel good.
Yeah.
Did not feel good.
Because it was close.
It was close, right? And the primary losing by less than 5,000 votes statewide, and 1%. Yeah. It did not feel good. I will say it was probably about maybe a month or so. I was like really, really down. But I remember that first week, I was really down, and I was just in the den, which is like my man cave, and I was just sitting there with my leg, probably still in my pajamas. And Brandy walked in, and Brandy said, "You know what?" And she sat down with Sunday. She was like, "We gonna be all right." And I said, "What you mean?" She's like, "We gonna be all right." I talked to people now for the last 2 days who said that the best is yet to come for you. And I just started bawling.
Aww.
And
but that's what you needed.
I needed it, yeah. And I started bawling.
I like her
and she was like, she just kept on talking. So we gonna be all right. She said, "Let it out." And I started bawling because, not only because I felt like I let myself down, but also I let them down. And she sacrificed a lot, particularly early on with, we had a baby while running for office. And so I just felt like I let her down. I was like, I just felt bad for letting her down. But from that point on, I knew there was nowhere but up from there. And so it showed me that, because, and also I'll admit, I had not ever lost anything before, really, in my professional career. And
you were on a roll.
You're right, right. And I thought, wow.
So you know what though? That was a lesson too.
Yeah, it was a lesson.
It was a lesson.
It was a lesson.
Oh, we could spend an hour on that.
And there's no.
Yeah.
Interesting. There is no givens in this. What I've come to find out, there's no given in life. You even though you may have your eyes on something, it's not a given. You have to work hard for it, and guess what? Once you put all the work in, it may not end up the way you wanted it to end up.
Yeah.
And I've come to grips with that. And
if you wait long enough, you'll find out why.
That's right.
I promise.
That's right.
I promise. You will find out why. This really wasn't the best time for you to do this.
And a lot of times folks always, you want to know the why today. You want to know why now because you think it will, because it answers a question and you feel fulfilled by knowing the why or that answer. Yeah. But guess what? You probably would not be that soon, that quickly.
Yeah.
You need a couple years to realize, what? Something was going on and I didn't even, but I will say this. I'm grateful for the Lord because the Lord put me in a position to meet my wife, marry my wife, and have a family, have my daughter. And you know what? I think about if I needed that sort of infrastructure, right, in my life, or that the failure that I did experience
took you down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
See that?
Without a doubt.
That's good.
Without a doubt.
Good. I love it.
Without a doubt.
I love it. I love it. All right. What belief about yourself did you have to release in order to grow into the leader people saw?
You have to be unafraid. You have to be fearless.
Okay.
And I think we all have our insecurities, and we have our own. There are still moments where I doubt myself, But in order to be a good leader, you have to be somewhat, I think, fearless and also willing to take some risk.
Yeah. And you got to know you.
That's right.
And that's in here.
That's right.
You know, that's in here.
And you have to tell. Sometimes you tell yourself like, "Oh, you can't do that." That's the doubt that that pops up now and again. But in order to be a leader, I think you have to be fearless and courageous to take that risk, and
but also for the right reasons, because
the
there are
yes.
leaders who and so you got to know who you are and your purpose. Your purpose. Why am I doing this?
And can I say that sometimes what I know about myself now is that, I used to recruit candidates to run for public office, House of Delegates, Board of Supervisors, state senator. And my pitch to them, I would go to a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, and I would say, you should run for office. I said, but my tip for you is you have to prepare yourself because either you're going to win or you're going to lose.
Right.
Right? That's just what it comes down to.
That's it.
Right? And you would be prepared for both.
Yeah.
And sometimes I say, maybe I was not prepared to lose. Right? Even though that was what I used to teach, right? I wasn't prepared.
See, that's that whole self-awareness.
That's right.
And I mean, the more we know about ourselves, the more we can do good work.
That's right. I wasn't prepared, but you know what? I've learned a lot about myself.
And that's the whole thing. Yeah.
Because at the end of this is about resilience. And I've always had that part, but in order to be resilient, you have to experience tough times, challenges to be resilient. Exactly. And this is just one of the many stories along the journey that creates that resilience.
That's right. And you'll look back on this and go, thank you, Lord.
That's right. I made it through.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
I got another one.
I will not complain.
You will not complain. So I'm thinking that you stepped away from politics, kind of, sort of.
Sort of.
So
I'm in the mix.
Okay. Who are you now without the title, and what has that revealed to you? That you are the former mayor.
What has revealed to me is that I like the person who is coming through the mirror. Like when I look at the mirror, I like the reflection that's coming back. Right. To me, that's the test. Do you like the person that you've become? Do you like the person that you are? And the person that I'm looking at when I'm looking at the mirror is I like that person. I like that person because I may have lost that fight, that election, but I've gained a lot as well.
Of course you have.
And I think sometimes...
And it wasn't time.
That's right. Sometimes we forget that we have so much to say grace over.
Yeah.
And, my plate has been... My plate is full. My cup is full.
Yeah.
It runneth over with,
your
the
plate
love.
is probably full.
Yeah, that too with a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
But I'm very, I'm very, very, very fortunate.
Okay. All right. So are you working?
I'm working, yes. I hung my own shingle out there, and I opened my own consulting practice where I advise those who might be in business on how to navigate government. Okay. And so I feel like I add value there. It's given me an opportunity to be more of a father, and I enjoy being a father.
Because you have an office in your home.
I have an office in my home, and I change diapers. I make breakfast. I always knew I could do that, be a father, but I get to do it.
Yeah,
that's the good part, right? Because sometimes when you're the mayor or the governor or anything like, you don't necessarily get to be like, I'm in it now. Yeah. My sleeves are rolled up, and I'm changing diapers. And
see, that's what the question was, because it's like without all of the accolades and the titles, who are you now? That's right. And you're dad.
I'm dad. Yeah, I'm
dad.
I think I'm a good husband.
I'm a
girl dad. I'm a girl dad.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love my family. I love my home. I love, that I'm proud of what we have.
Good.
Proud of what we have.
Good. Okay. All right. Who were you when no one was watching? And how did that version of you guide your public decisions? And this is my next to the last question.
Well, I always have thought that, sometimes with service and my journey through politics, I lost some friends. I made a lot of friends. But I made friends with people who, let's just say this, I probably have less friends now than I did when I was the mayor.
Because everybody wants your friend.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And
because they hang on. That's really sad.
That's
I
right.
think that's really sad.
That's right.
People hold on to you with the title.
Oh yeah.
And then hit the road.
Oh yeah. And what I realize now is that for those who are my friends, I probably could have been a better friend. Because I was so busy doing my job.
Yeah.
I could have been a better brother. I'll admit
Yeah.
that. Me and my brother early on in my political career had some ups and downs because we lost our father.
Right.
I'm pursuing my career, and we had some ups and downs. Now I realize that there are some people out there who are going to be with you no matter what.
Right.
That's your squad. That's your team right there.
Yeah.
And I think quietly, when people were not watching, I could have been a better friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could have been a better brother.
So see how you're working on all of that
Oh,
now?
yeah.
So you're going to be when you in your next
I got people helping me with this stuff,
I got you.
Spiritually, everything.
So tell me this, and then we're going to be done. When you sit in stillness today, what is calling you now? Not from obligation, but from truth. What's your purpose?
You know what? My purpose now is, I think I talked about it. I love creating space for my family now.
Okay.
Right? And so I've always, I'm a provider. And that's important to me. And so when people always say, you're going to get back into politics, it's like, one day eventually, right? I do personally think I need a break from it. So I'm not closing the door so I'm not never saying it's never going to happen.
Right.
I'm not saying that. But right now it's my time to be a provider, right?
Yeah.
And to raise my family, provide for my family. And so that's the role that I'm
and let them two women.
That's right. And that's the role
run your world.
That's the role that I'm embracing these days, right? Is being that provider.
Yeah.
And so, like I told some folks before, I have my good days, I have my bad days, but I'm not going to complain about what
You're not going to complain.
I'm not going to complain.
And I got to go, so I'm going to do this real quickly.
Okay.
Oh, I still got a little bit of time. But first of all, I want to thank you. I adore you. I'm so glad you were with me today.
It's always good when we get together.
Yeah,
always.
Good. It really is. So I want to say to the audience, what we experienced tonight was more than a conversation. It was actually a reminder that leadership is not just about position. It is about presence. It is not just about decisions. It is about awareness. And it is not just about what we build in the world, but who we become while building it. So as you leave tonight, I invite you, or today, or whenever you hear this, I invite you to carry one question with you. Not what am I doing, but who am I being while I do it? Who am I being? Because whether in a home, a classroom, a city, a quiet moment alone, someone is always experiencing life through how we show up. And you heard that from him today. And just like we heard tonight, the most powerful leadership does not come from the noise. It comes from within. And the silence is what we want to do. The solution is in the silence.
Live in that.
That's what you're doing. Just relaxing, renewing, reimagining. You look really calm.
Thank you.
Really calm.
Rested, hopefully, as well.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for being with us this evening. And we will see you again at another time. Thank you, love.
Thank you.